like, officer, you can't tell me that my body is indecent. And then look at some guy who's out of shape and not even blink an eye at him, but somehow I'm indecent. That just doesn't, and it's just, we have to unfuck our own heads about things like that because it's ridiculous.
One thing that bothered me about that story too is the fact that why people got to be snitching in the first place? Just mind your business.
Right. Exactly. I know, it was so funny because the woman who called the police on me, I was like, what are you doing jaywalking? Because I'm from California. I was like, what's the matter with you? Why are you jaywalking? Because to me, I was just like, why can't you just wait? Why are you in such a hurry to stumble into the intersection and then call the cops on me, you weirdo?
And it was on the other side of the street. That's
right. I know. It's so exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing I see just in society that turns around too is when the hell did snitching become acceptable? It's just become like a part of everyone's life nowadays.
I know.
The one thing that we shame.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, and this, I've been saying this a lot, tambien, which is that sticks and stones break my bones. Why did we get so, now, political correctness, I'm with Bill Maher on that. I don't agree with that. I think that people need to toughen the fuck up when it comes to a lot of things and stop being so freaking offended all the time. Because, again, sticks and stones, right? If you throw something at me, that's different. But you can throw all kinds of names at me. They ain't going to stick. And if I mean, all you need is, it's like we have no confidence. People don't have any confidence anymore because they're so busy getting offended. I mean, you can call me a cunt. I don't care. I prefer the term cuntress, which is cunt plus duchess.
See, I get so many emails. I'm having emails all the time of people offended by something I say out here at least once a day. Or what kills me is people that call in because their kids heard something they're saying. I'm like, well, who cares? Why are your kids listening to our show? Take the damn phone away from them.
Right, exactly. Right. It's as simple as then don't hang out with that person. Or, I mean, why does this have to be, why do we have to create so much drama? I mean, because that's basically what a lot of political correctness is. It's a lot of drama. And it's unnecessary. I mean, there are all sorts of things out there that are offensive. And so what? And it's important to look at how people are to each other. I mean, it's amazing how meditation can, and this is a slight plug for meditation. But meditation teaches your prefrontal cortex how to watch your lizard brain, so that you don't react.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And I know cannabis does the same thing, or it does a similar thing. But I mean, you don't have to react to the way that people are because it's not personal.
Exactly, and that's why I think a lot of what's really fucking up society right now too is the fact that half the world is stressed out by being offended by everything. Another half of the world is stressed out because they don't want to offend anyone.
Right.
We're all just pissed off and angry. No one's having fun anymore.
Right, and sometimes, and that's something. It's so funny because the Irish woman in me has definitely come out since I was in prison, and I mean, if somebody pisses me off, I'll rip into them. I have no problem doing that. Whereas before, I was very California polite about it, and now, like if somebody says something to me that I don't like, I just say, go fuck yourself. And then they get upset, and I'm like, block me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how like I've been weeding out all of the people who are just annoying. I'm just like, I don't need you. It's really that simple. And now I have a lot of really, really good people in my life who are just kind and funny and have a great sense of humor about a lot of things. And they're just good people. And keep it simple.
That's what we as society need back, is just having a sense of humor and just being okay with things. Because, I mean, I say it all the time, if Eddie Murphy Raw or any of the George Carlin specials had been aired today, they would have been chastised by bigots and thrown out of the industry.
I know. I freaking love St. George Carlin. I totally call him that. He's just so wonderful. Yeah. He's a great one. He is a great one. Yeah. I'm so glad he left a good legacy for us because he is a good one. Yeah, I like the fact that he said that you could make fun of anything. And what did he? I don't want to fuck it up, but what he said about you can even make jokes about rape. He said, picture Porky Pig raping Elmer Fudd. I think was what he said, right? And I mean, you can turn. It's actually now, and we haven't really talked about this side to me, but my background is actually in Buddhist psychology, and there are two fundamental tenets, I guess you could say, in Buddhist psychology. One is this big, long, fancy Sanskrit word called pratitya samutpada, which basically means that every single person, place, thing arises due to a nexus of causes and conditions, right? So nothing is independent from its causes. And then the other thing, and this is what I mean. This is actually related to what we were just talking about, is this concept of emptiness or shunyata, and it basically means that everything is empty of our projections, which means that nothing is inherently good or bad. It has everything to do with how you look at it.
Right.
And so that's a lot of what Carlin was talking about with the concept of rape, because you can make it funny. It doesn't have to be serious. Everything is subject to a sense of humor. Everything.
And we need that, because if we just look at the negative things, then that negative energy is just going to bring us down more.
Right, exactly. And you don't have to look at it that way, right?
Right.
You just plain old don't have to look at it that way. You can look at it a different way and water off a duck's back and don't take things personally. I love what I look at as my Bible is, I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's this little book called The Four Agreements, and it's Native American wisdom, but and they're super simple. It's be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. And the caveat to always doing your best is that your best changes, because when you're sick, be forgiving of yourself, because your best is going to be different. But the two middle ones are just spectacular when you think about not taking things personally, because whoever you meet, whenever you meet anybody, they're fighting their own war, and it doesn't have anything to do with you. Yeah. Whatever somebody brings to the table has to do with every single thing that happened to them before they interacted with you. So it's not personal.
Exactly. And I think that's the biggest message that people need to take with them tonight after listening to the show is stop taking everything so personal.
Yeah. Lighten the fuck up and enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment, I mean, seriously.
Exactly. Well, Melissa, I'd love to have you on the show tonight, and we're definitely going to have you on again, because I want to hear more of your story. I want to keep up with you on this.
Thanks, CEO. I appreciate that.
Is there anything you want to tell listeners before we go?
Well, just love yourselves daily in every aspect. I totally mean that. Just love yourselves daily in every way you can.
Hell yeah. Well,
yeah.
We will definitely be back in touch with you soon, and you have a great rest of your night.
All right. Cheers, brother. Thank you so much. It was an honor.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.
It's hard to call it radio when it's this out of the box.
Listen to that. Man, you know just what to say.
You might be a redneck.
Fox News alert on several dramatic new developments.
Frank Sinatra.
You're a delightful audience. Let's go to Margaritaville, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown.
This is satellite radio. Welcome to Sirius XM.
Big shout out once again to our affiliates of SiriusXM. If you want to check out SiriusXM for yourself, it is actually free for the next 3 months. If you sign up now, you can actually get it free for the next 3 months. Check out all the great channels and features they have to offer. All you got to do is go to tinyurl.com/ CEO Radio, or / SiriusXM CEO Radio, all one word. Once again, that is www.tinyurl.com / SiriusXM CEO Radio, all one word. And also a big shout out to Melissa Jones. She gave some powerful insight. Like I said, I don't agree with all the things she has on her political platform, but at the same time, you know, she's a good person. I got respect for her, got love for her. You know, big shout out to Melissa Jones. And you know, that's my whole point of tonight, really, and my whole point of my final thought for the night, because we're getting ready to wrap the show up here in a little bit. You know, I'm not saying fucking anyone's way of living is right or wrong. Like I said earlier, when it comes down to personal beliefs and personal opinions and, you know, lifestyles, things like that, unless you're a fucking sociopath or a fucking weirdo that thinks your way of life and thinks what is right is molesting kids or, you know, chopping people up in your bathtub or fucking weird shit like that, other than that, there's no real right or wrong when it comes to a way to live or a way to think. Because everyone's got their own view of normal. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's an entirely different subject, but at the same time goes in the same category. I grew up without a father. I mean, I had my godfather, rest in peace, Robert. Love you, dude. I miss you every fucking day. But, you know, that was my way of fucking normal. When I grew up, that was normal, is just having my mom at the house. Some people, their way of normal is having mom and dad at the house. Some people, their way of normal is having mom, dad, and grandparents at the house. And my point with that is, you know, even though it's not entirely related to fucking, you know, the issues we're talking about, it's that everyone has their own walk of life and their own fucking perception of normal. You know what I mean? My way of living might not be normal to some people. Some people's way of living isn't normal to me. Look at the fucking Amish. That's their way of living. They have no electricity, no nothing. They fucking ride horse and buggy and all that shit. But at the same time, it works for them. They've been doing it for fucking hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's still working for them. So, I'm not going to go to the Amish community and hand out light bulbs and be like, y'all are wrong for not having electricity. Hook these motherfuckers up. Like, no. If it works for you, do it. I'm not entirely for gay people, but you know what? I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying it's not my preference. But you know what? If you're gay, and that's what you do what you gotta do, man. Fucking, that's your way of living. It ain't affecting me. That's why I didn't get about the whole, back when the whole gay marriage debate was a huge fucking thing. I mean, I guess it still is in some areas, but like when that was fucking a huge thing, I didn't get what people had an issue with that was. It's like, man, they ain't trying to marry you. If you don't want gay marriage, don't marry someone of your own sex. But don't sit there and tell someone else they can't be happy with the way they're doing it. The way I see it is, if they want to fucking gamble half their shit like the rest of us, go right ahead, buddy. Like it. Like, if my neighbor tomorrow wants to fucking wants to paint his dick black and white with stripes and start identifying as a fucking bisexual zebra, am I gonna fucking tell him he's wrong for that? No, because it don't affect me. And, you know, I know a lot of people out there fucking think I'm a bigot or whatever because I'm politically incorrect. That's not at all. I have no issues with no one because y'all don't affect my fucking life. You guys can do as much shit that I don't agree with or that isn't my way as you want. And tomorrow, my life's still going to be the fucking same. So if you have an issue with the way I believe or anything like that, what you really need to ask yourself as a fucking person, whether you don't agree with my fucking beliefs on R. Kelly, whether you don't believe with my beliefs on fucking feminism or fucking sexism or gay rights or anything like that, if you don't believe with what I believe, ask yourself, how is him believing what he believes? How am I, by believing what I believe, affecting your life? And I'm not talking about affect your life by it makes you triggered or makes you angry or whatever, because that's not a real effect. That's something you have control over. That's called emotion. You have control over your own emotions. You know, if you choose to be mad at something and let something get you worked up and ruin your day, that's up to you, because no one likes to be mad. What is getting mad achieve for you? Really? What is getting upset over something that you have no control over fucking do for you? You know what? It's about to snow again here in Reno. Fucking the weather's getting colder. It was warm for a few days, getting ready to snow again. I'm mad as fuck that it's going to snow again. But at the same time, am I going to sit